trying to change your current reality with your mind is not going to work. It's just going to lead you to feel disconnected from yourself, and you're going to put in a lot of effort. Take it from someone who's been there. You're going to put in a lot of effort and you're not going to see a lot of results. And what I want for you is to really see results from this work and really actually start to feel better. Hi, my love. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to my podcast if you're listening on there. For those of you who are new here, my name is Michaela. I'm a hypnotherapist and spiritual mentor. And right now I'm really passionate about sharing what I'm currently realizing and moving through in my own personal healing and awakening journey to hopefully help you feel a little bit less alone on yours. I have spent a lot of time healing, trying to manifest, trying to really transform my life over the past few years. I've worked with a lot of mentors. I've spent a lot of time in reflection with myself. And I personally feel like the things that I have learned and the things that have led to my biggest breakthroughs need to be accessible to everyone. And so that's what is inspiring this video today. This realization that I had about limiting beliefs is what has completely transformed my self-concept. When I had this realization, it helped me to have so much more compassion and understanding for myself, which if you've listened to any of my videos before, you know that I believe that having compassion for yourself, having that relationship with yourself where you are really understanding of who you are, why you are the way you are, and really feeling a lot of love and acceptance towards yourself, that is what leads to the biggest breakthroughs. That is what raises our vibration immediately. And so my hope is that this video will leave you feeling so much more understanding and compassionate towards yourself, why you have the beliefs that you have, so that your self-concept can instantly change and you can instantly start to feel better. So let's dive into how to truly, at the deepest possible level, transform your limiting beliefs. Because holding on to limiting beliefs that really don't resonate with us anymore is what holds us back from having a positive self-concept. Limiting beliefs really are just the beliefs that we can't have the things that we want. So for example, I'm not worthy, I'm poor, I'm always gonna be poor, I'm never gonna have enough, things never work out for me, I'm not beautiful, I'm unhealthy, I'm never going to have my health. All of these beliefs that we hold on to that we don't want to have, that hold us back from experiencing what we truly want, but for some reason feel so deeply ingrained within us. And I just want to share that these limiting beliefs, they're here for a reason, and we're going to dive into that a little bit more later. But the way that we typically like to tackle limiting beliefs in the manifestation community, I have come to realize is completely out of alignment, at least for me. The way that I was taught to tackle my limiting beliefs was simply to identify them, identify where they come from, and then shift into a positive narrative. I was told to start reprogramming my mind with positive affirmations and really just hammering them in order to change my reality as quickly as possible. After doing this for quite a long time, I spent literal years trying to do this, I realized that I was not seeing the amount of progress that I should be seeing for the amount of effort that I was putting in. So I got really curious with myself as to why. Why is the way that we're taught to navigate these limiting beliefs not really that effective for me? And when I asked myself that question and started to dig a little bit deeper, I realized that the process of simply with the mind identifying what our limiting beliefs are and then quickly trying to change them is a process of dissociating from ourselves. We are stuffing these beliefs away saying, nope, that's not acceptable. I can't feel that. I can't think that because that's preventing me from getting what I want. And so we pretend that those beliefs don't really exist and just try to focus on what we do want to believe. And this is a process of dissociating. It's a process of shutting down and suppressing what we really feel. But the truth is, in my experience, in order to truly change your life and believe what you want to believe, you have to dig deep and believe it at the very core of your being. You have to feel it. It can't just be a delusional dissociation that you create in your mind. It has to be this full body experience. And I'm not here to talk badly about using affirmations or trying to rewire your mind. I think there absolutely is a time and a place for those things where they can be so helpful. But I think that most of us come into this world of manifestation with a level of rejection towards the current life that we're living. We feel unhappy, we feel dissatisfied, we feel incomplete. And so we want to change the way that we think and the way that we feel in order to really abandon this current version of ourselves and become a version that we deem as more acceptable. And that is when we start to get into trouble, because we're manifesting from the ego, we're manifesting from this place of lack within us, and then we start to face a lot of lessons in our lives. So if you want to manifest from your soul, from this deeper place within you of stability, and you really want to fully change your self-concept in the most authentic way, keep listening, because I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. So to start, I want to really explain why I consider the current model of manifestation that is taught around rewiring, scripting, affirmations, why doing that right away, in my opinion, is considered dissociation. These beliefs that we take on early in our lives, we take them on for a reason. You are not stupid. You did not randomly just absorb all of these beliefs. Sure, maybe some beliefs that you have aren't really necessary and they're easy to rewire because they aren't attached to something deeper. But the beliefs that you have a harder time rewiring with those affirmations and those more surface level practices, they're hard to rewire because the version of you that took in that belief as a means for survival. You took on these beliefs because you were scanning, trying to figure out who you needed to be, what you needed to do, what you needed to believe in order to survive. For example, believing I am unworthy. When I dove into this belief for myself, I realized that I told myself that I am not worthy when things started to go south in my life. When I started to experience trauma that was out of my control, when I really wanted something and didn't get it for some reason, I told myself that I am not worthy because it helped me to make sense of the bad things that were happening to me. I made it personal because telling myself that it was my fault gave me a sense of control. If it's my fault, then I can do something to change it. I can just try to be perfect or change it this next time in order to feel worthy again, which then led me on this pursuit of trying to be perfect for the rest of my life to cover up that feeling of unworthiness. But all the while underneath, that feeling of being unworthy was there as a protection for me to try to explain to myself why certain traumas and things happened to me that were truly out of my control, to give me a sense of control. Another example would be the belief that nothing good ever happens to me. When I dug deeper into this belief, I realized that it was because I was protecting myself from feeling disappointment. I had experienced so much disappointment in my life that it was easier for me to just believe that nothing good would ever happen so that I didn't get my hopes up and experience that really intense heartbreak that I experienced as a child. And then lastly, just as a blanket example, by believing anything and everything that your parents, your caretakers, your peers, your teachers, the society around you believes, you are trying to survive because we need community, connection, and belonging. We crave that. So if we're going to have a belief that strays from what our parents or caretakers believe, that is going to create disconnection. That is too painful. So we cling on to these beliefs in order to feel connection. There are so many reasons, but all of these go back to our core needs, our needs for love, connection, survival, wanting to be successful, wanting to make sure that all of our needs are met. That is why we cling on to so many of these limiting beliefs. They are not here for no reason. They are not pesky little annoying flies that we just need to swat away. They are parts of us, past versions of us, who cling on to these beliefs in order to create safety. So by dissociating from these parts and trying to just be delusional and grip onto new beliefs that you think will serve you and you think will bring you onto a higher timeline, you are rejecting these parts of you who have felt deeply unsafe and have really clung on to these beliefs in order to maintain that safety. And that is why there is a disconnection. That is why it doesn't feel natural and it doesn't feel easy. And so there are some steps that we can take to help us create that safety within so that the affirmation, scripting, visualization, the initiation of these new beliefs can actually be absorbed in your body and you can feel safe enough to begin living in that new reality. But first, there are some steps that we need to take in order to create that foundation. The first step to this process for me was learning how to connect to a presence of unconditional love within myself. And this is something that a lot of us have a really hard time doing. We can unconditionally love other people in our lives, but when it comes to loving ourselves, it can feel really, really challenging. And I want you to know that it's okay if that feels challenging for you. You have so much support around you, so much more than you know. And if you're willing to believe in that unseen support, you will open up your heart to allow that in. It is that simple. So really focus on whatever it is that you resonate with, whatever you believe in, whether it's God, the universe, source energy, your past loved ones, your higher self, some type of presence that connects you to the feeling of unconditional love and compassion. As you strengthen your connection to that presence, you will feel more able to reparent yourself because you're calling in who are wanting to nurture you and bring you back into wholeness and give you that love and safety and stability that you needed but likely never received as a child. Because all of these beliefs that you absorbed them because you were looking to create that safety for yourself. You were trying to feel worthy of that love. And when you connect to that presence of unconditional love that is already there, you will feel so much more equipped to take the next steps that I'm going to share with you and really hold yourself in this process enough to create that safety, to call in that new self-concept and call in those new beliefs that will truly serve you and support you as you enter these higher timelines. So step 2, after you've connected to that presence of unconditional love, is to be willing to shine a light on these parts. If you already have a list of your limiting beliefs somewhere, or if you can start to think of them right now and start writing them down, you will notice that each of these limiting beliefs, each one of them that is adding to this negative self-concept that is holding you back in your life, they all come from an abandoned or younger part of you. What do I mean by abandoned or younger part of you? I mean that the moment you decided that you wanted your life to change, that you wanted your life to look different, that you realized that these beliefs are limiting and holding you back, you likely started to abandon them. You likely tried to start shutting them down, pushing them away, getting rid of them, and rejecting them. And meanwhile, these younger, past versions of you are screaming out for love. They're screaming out for safety and connection. And by shutting down to them and telling them that they're bad and preventing you from manifesting what you want, you are deepening that disconnection from yourself. And so that second step is just a decision to come into wholeness and really look at these parts of yourself. Be willing to shine the light on them and see what they have to say and why they took on that belief. And as I started to do this work, I saw in my mind a really powerful example from Harry Potter where everyone's afraid to say Voldemort's name. And then Hermione is like, fear of the name only induces fear of the thing itself, or something like that. And that's what I want you to understand about these parts and limiting beliefs is that if we fear them, we give them power. If we won't look at them, they control us. But the moment you decide to step into your power and shine your light on these beliefs is the moment you take their power away and you start to see them for what they are. And in my mind right now, I'm literally seeing a child or a teenager in a corner holding themselves in a dark room. They're just sad and scared and they're looking for your help. So how do we help them? We help them by holding them, by looking at them and seeing them for who they really are. These are innocent versions of you who didn't know any better at the time. You didn't know any better than to take on that belief and to live your life believing that thing because it helped you to feel safe. So by really recognizing that and releasing the judgment towards these parts of you, they're going to start to feel safe enough to listen to you again because you are forming a relationship with them. You have to notice the judgment and shame you have towards these parts that is preventing them from truly trusting you and begin to rebuild that trust by listening to them. And the way that you can physically actually do this is by talking out loud to yourself. You can talk to yourself during a meditation. You can can talk to yourself in the mirror. You can journal on these parts and what they have to say. And for example, like if there's a part of you that believes I am unworthy and unlovable, maybe you see your 13-year-old self sitting in a corner, afraid and alone, wanting love, but not feeling deserving of it and trying to make sense of that. Then you would write in your journal or say out loud, I see you. I'm here with you. And I know that you feeling unworthy has helped you. I understand that you taking on these beliefs has protected you. And I'm here with you now. I'm here to listen to you, to understand you. And what you really want to embody in this moment is that unconditional love that you've connected to, is that love of the mother and father that maybe you didn't have, or maybe you're missing, and you want to show up in that way for this child right now. Because even the version of you yesterday needs that love. Even the version of you right now needs that love. When you are able to give that part of you the love that they never received, of course, maybe at first they're gonna be a little bit resistant. They might not know if it's safe for them to receive it. But over time, you are going to start to shatter that wall between you and invite that part of you in and create more wholeness within yourself. So that third step is really just to listen and to acknowledge their presence and to hold space for that part of you. Holding space is not saying, oh yeah, I know you think you're unworthy, but you really are worthy. Don't invalidate, because step 4 is validation. Really validating why that part feels the way that they feel. Really validating why they took on that belief and understanding it. Now, this doesn't mean letting this belief linger. This just means validating the reason for its existence and understanding that it is there for a reason and that that part of you is not stupid or bad or wrong for holding on to it. Step 5 is continuing that reparenting process by being the authoritative parent who can hear, validate, and love their child, but also provide direction and clarity and movement forward. Being a loving parent is not about being permissive and letting this part of you linger in these limiting, heavy beliefs that are not serving you. That part of you doesn't want to be there. It's clinging onto it because it's afraid. So by providing that love and stability and saying, I will love you no matter what. I love you right now while you have this belief. And I love you enough to guide you towards a new belief system. Being permissive is not supportive, but also being authoritarian is not supportive. And the authoritarian energy is that delusional rejection of your current limiting beliefs and saying, nope, we're just going to believe this, no questions asked. I don't care why I have those limiting beliefs. We're just going to have these new beliefs because we are running out of time. Where I'm at is bad and wrong. I feel shame towards myself. I feel uncomfortable. I'm just going to believe this because that's how it has to be. That authoritarian parenting style is not compassionate or understanding towards this part of you. So the authoritative parenting style is understanding where the belief comes from, why it's there, having compassion, and then helping to bridge the gap between that belief and the belief that you want to have, but not needing to change that belief in order to feel love towards yourself, in order to feel compassion towards yourself. That love, acceptance, and compassion must already exist in the current state that you are in order to get to this new belief system and to really feel safe enough to maintain these beliefs and create the life that you want. And so bridging that gap could look like going from I am not worthy to I am learning that it is safe for me to be worthy. I am learning that it is safe for me to start believing that good things will happen to me and starting to change the narrative in a way that feels comfortable and challenging at the same time, right? It's like providing that balance between the two in a way that feels believable, but also exciting and expansive. Step 6 is just maintaining that safety and non-judgment no matter how long it takes you to fully rewire these beliefs and fully enter into this new self-concept. If there's anything that I've learned on my personal journey is that I go up and down a lot. There's times where I'm like on top of the world. I feel so confident. I really believe in myself. My self-love practice is on fire. Like I'm really devoted and I'm feeling really good. And then comes a dip. And I'm back in this old energy. And I've realized that every single time I dip back into old energy, these limiting beliefs pop up. It's not because I've backtracked. It's because I've created a new level of safety within myself to be able to go even deeper, to be able to hold myself at a deeper level and like really face these other parts of me. So see it as a success if you've gotten to this place of self-love and you find yourself back down again. Don't judge yourself. That is a trap and that will keep you stuck. The most important step is step 6 because that is creating safety and non-judgment throughout every phase of this process and knowing that you are moving forward and you are creating lasting change. Creating lasting change from these beliefs that you've held on to for your entire life thus far is not going to happen instantly with one visualization technique or saying affirmations for a couple of weeks. It's going to be a process of creating safety, digging deeper, creating more safety until you start to really feel stable and secure enough to fully believe these new beliefs that you are choosing. And that will happen. You will not be in this phase forever. But yeah, the safety and non-judgment is so key, and I can't express that enough. Lastly, I want to say that when you are experiencing that feeling of safety and you're in a really good place, that is the time and place to use these manifestation techniques that are so readily available to us, to use the scripting of the reality that you want to be creating, to say those positive affirmations, I am worthy, I am lovable, I am abundant, and to be in a place where you can really take them in. What you want to notice more than anything, step 7, what you want to notice is how you feel versus what you think you should be doing. If the practice that you choose feels like it's meeting you where you're at and providing you with the support that you need for whatever state you're in, that is a really good sign. If you are rejecting or abandoning where you're at by trying to implement these practices, that could contribute to more dissociation and abandonment of these parts. What we really want to do is focus on how we feel rather than what we think we need to do and where we think we need to be. Because remember that trying to change your current reality with your mind is not going to work. It's just going to lead you to feel disconnected from yourself, and you're going to put in a lot of effort. Take it from someone who's been there. You're going to put in a lot of effort and you're not going to see a lot of results. And what I want for you is to really see results from this work and really actually start to feel better. So I want you to know that when you do this work, your self-concept will change because you are integrating these parts of you that you've abandoned, the parts of you that you've judged that were lingering under the surface, controlling your life. You're integrating them back into wholeness. And then you get to steer the ship because these parts of you finally trust you enough to let you lead and guide them to what you want to believe, to the reality that you want to be living in. They finally feel safe enough to get excited about abundance and the home you want to have and the relationship you want to have because they feel safe with you, and you have created that structure and that stability that loving parents create for their children to give them a good and stable life and to give them the space to fly and dream and go after what they want and know that they will be safe to do so. So that is why this work will change your self-concept so much, because you will embody the version of you who is experiencing deep wholeness and union with yourself. Your relationship with yourself will be chef's kiss. It will be so good. You will feel amazing. And when you don't feel amazing, you will have the tools that you need in order to help yourself and hold yourself truly in that place. And that is a level of security that is unmatched and you will be able to take with you no matter what happens in your life. And because of that, from that place of wholeness, you will start attracting, rather than trying to force these things to change. Your self-concept is all you need to work on in order to start attracting more of what you want, because literally everything in this life is a reflection of the relationship you have with yourself. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I would love to know in the comments. I would love to answer any questions that you guys might have. Make sure that if you found it helpful, that you leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for being here. I love you, and I will see you in the next one.